I am out here too. Practical, mental, and spiritual stories, tips, and suggestions for the person navigating homelessness, Florida edition, Timeless Jubilee. First chapter. I'm different. There are a few things that I would like to discuss about myself and my lifestyle choices that I know make a big difference out here to me at least. Normally, I would have put this part of the book in the introduction. However, I find that the introduction is often skipped over, and I feel that this information about me is too valuable to individuals reading or listening to this book that I gave this section of the book a chapter. Well, I know that everyone is different. The following things about me are some of the ways that I am different. My diet out here is different. One major lifestyle choice is a big deal to me is my eating habits. I categorize myself as a conscious eater. I eat based on how I feel and how I look after eating various foods. For example, I avoid red dye in a lot of foods and drinks because I notice a pain in my side after consuming drinks and snacks containing red dye. Also, I eat based on how animal food products are being treated, handled before purchase. For example, I watched Vegucated on Netflix some years back and I saw the living conditions of a lot of cows, chickens, and pigs, and it inspired me to remove them totally from my diet. My mother raised us to be pork free, so I just had to stop eating pizza with pepperoni and sausage on it for the pork part of it. And believe me, when I am offered pizza now, I also remove the cheese as well. I prefer to eat fresh fish because of the living conditions of most processed fish. However, I eat packages and cans of tuna and sardines as well. Some people would say that I am a pescatarian, but it is more complicated than that. My diet is free of all animals except fish. However, being a pescatarian just implies that I eat only seafood as meat, but I also abstain from all other seafood like shrimp, lobster, crab, calamari, and other ocean delicacies. I noticed that by choosing to be dairy free, because of how I feel and look afterwards, my nose becomes stuffy, my skin looks aged, and because of how the dairy cow is being treated, I find that I have less mucus, which seems to keep the allergens from attaching to my lungs, and I tend to catch colds and flus a lot less than when I used to partake in dairy. I feel like being free of beef, poultry, and pork protects me from different illnesses, usually caused by meat, and like salmonella, poisoning, worms, and mad cow disease. Also, from my personal experience, I noticed that I have more control over my bowels when I go without meat, milk, and cheese. I have less issues with constipation, diarrhea, and gas than when I used to eat meat and dairy products. And believe me, having control over your bowels is a big deal out here. Also, I drink fewer soft drinks than I used to because soft drinks seems to be hard on my bladder. And when I noticed that after drinking sodas, I had to sprint to the toilet, I knew that regularly drinking sodas without having a personal restroom was something that I needed to stop. I am different because I refuse to take oaths or make promises out here. Now, you probably think that it should be less important in my day to day life. However, my stay was extended in jail because I refused to take an oath. You know the oath that says, I promise to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Well, because I have some very strong convictions about taking oaths and making promises, it kept me from taking a plea, and I was told that I would be kept from speaking at my trial. Finally, thanks be to God, I was released without taking the oath. But I can say that the system did its best to break me before that happened. Then afterwards, when I went to get my ID card, I was hit with another oath. I am willing to press buttons, but that's all. When the cashier asked me to swear that all my information was correct, I said no. And I told him to just press the button because I just spent 7 months in jail because I refused to swear and to take an oath. And he did. I am different because I refuse to deliberately kill anything. That means that I revere life. It is to the extreme. It means that I even refuse to kill mosquitoes. When mosquitoes attack, I brush them off, and if they bite, I still refuse to kill them. It's already too late by then. I even joke about it because I realize that we humans are a part of the food cycle as well. And although we eat all the other animals in the food chain, we get mad when it's our turn and a mosquito wants just 1 billionth of our blood for the protein she needs to produce her eggs. And we're like, F you. I notice that if I'm in a crowd of people, I tend to get bitten less than the other people around me. And I think it's because I am more a part of nature than most people, but also because mosquitoes respect that I am brushing them off instead of killing them. And so that makes cause for less revenge from the OBG, the original blood gang. Because when a blood hoarding giant kills their cousin, they come back with the sting. The whole thing comes down to my belief that if something or someone is living, then it is living for a purpose. And if someone or something is living without threatening my life, then who am I to say that he, she, it deserves death? I am different because I believe that what you believe changes things out here. I believe that if I believe that I am protected, I am protected. If I believe that when the warrior of God needs a weapon, it will appear. Then a weapon appears when I need one. I believe that if I believe that I will eat every day, then I will eat every day. I believe that if I see being out here as a part of my life's journey and purpose, then I will live my life purposely on this journey. And I do. I believe that I am doing God's will and that I am gifted with the ability and the means to do so. And so, to quote my good friend in spirit, Wayne Dyer, if you change the way you look at things, the things that you look at change. I was just speaking with a police officer who kicked me off the beach the other night, and he said, I probably want to find some help because he has seen people deteriorate into sanity within 6 months to a year of being out here. I told him that I had been out here a lot longer than that, 6 years. He said that I look great, and I told him why. Because of my mindset and how I look at things. I let him know that I am at home in my body and that I take care of myself and that God takes care of me. He told me that it was a pleasure to meet me. I am different because I have stopped working for money out here. Yes, that is correct. It has been 11 years now since I have worked for money. I worked one time overnight at Walmart in a labor pool, but it was to go with my man at the time and to keep the girls off him. I have received $10 for helping an associate complete a job application online. I was going to help him anyway. So the point is, I do a lot of things to help a lot of people, but it is because I am inspired to do so. The first year out here, I refused all offers of money. I think God wanted me to do it for at least two reasons. One, so that I could see that God was really providing for me. Two, so that the people around me and those I served would see that I was doing it from the bottom of my heart without an agenda. I just gave a young man who is without residence a massage last night because I saw that he could really use one. I am out here trying to serve the people who are also out here. I have washed people's feet. I have assisted sick veterans. I have shared space, information, food, blankets. I have performed for and partied with and encouraged the people out here along with people that I've met that have a place to stay. I believe that people without money still need love, help, and excellent service. So many of us have been the ones giving love, help, and excellent services to others, and now we are the ones who could really use it. Today is September 18th, 2025. Last Sunday, a church that I visited for breakfast, showers, and their service one Sunday offered me an opportunity, along with a few other individuals that are navigating homelessness, to take photos that will be displayed and later sold for the purpose of supporting their homeless ministry. I said yes. I shall be compensated $100 when I return the second camera that they gave me for this week. And I am doing it for the art of it instead of for the money. But the money will be good too. I am different because I am committed to the truth out here. So, in this society, at least in the one I was born in, it seems that lying is required to get a lot of things. I've always been an honest person. I hated to lie to my mother, but sometimes I did to try to prevent an ass whipping. I really hated lying altogether. However, I would tell lies to get jobs and places to live and things that I felt that I needed to survive. Also, to avoid getting in any real trouble or being really embarrassed. Now, I do my best to tell the truth or remain silent regardless of the consequences. So, if a job, apartment, or assistance program requires me to lie to be accepted, I am willing to walk away. I could say that in this society, this is truly a path less traveled, and I can see why. I think that if I still told lies, I would probably be working and in my own place by now. And so I totally am without judgment for anyone who decides to lie to survive out here. Sometimes, after thinking about it, I catch myself in a lie. My practice is to go and to correct it the next opportunity that I get. I thought that you should know this major difference about me because it makes a huge difference on this journey, which leads me to the next important thing that is different. I am doing something very different by writing this book in something that I call the positive. I have worked to remove from this book negative words like not and all its relatives, and abbreviations like don't, won't, isn't, aren't, and words that describe things I by saying its opposite like unnecessary and dislike. If any exceptions are to be made, it will be for quoting people, including myself. The reason that I am taking actions to remove these words from my vocabulary and from my writing is because I truly believe that these words are lies and or distractions from the truth. And as I mentioned earlier, I am a person who has committed myself to the truth because the truth will and does set us free. Any situation that we are in that requires deception will free us once the truth is revealed. Although we may desire to stay in that situation, reality is that we belong where the truth leads us. P.S. Will I lie to save an innocent life? Yes. I am different because I refuse to carry any weapon out here. Well, it was put on my heart some years ago to put my safety and protection 100% in the hands of my Creator. It became extremely clear to me that I had to put down weapons, and I did. And being a woman out here, people tend to think that they can get away with trying to harm or handle you. But the fact that I refuse to carry any weapons seems to give me an energy that attracts less violence. I often say I carry no weapon because I mean no harm. In the positive, it is said as I refuse to carry weapons because my intentions are good and I trust God for my protection. Now, you may argue that peaceful people are often harmed. Well, I have three responses to that. One, the peaceful people that I have seen harm would have been harmed even if they carried a weapon. Two, people who carry weapons are often harmed anyway. Three, I am a person who loves myself and is willing to defend myself if necessary and by any means necessary. Sometimes protecting myself is as simple as walking away or avoiding a person, place, or thing. Sometimes it means that I must fight, and I have done all three. I believe that protection also comes from loving life and wanting to be here. So, for example, question: why do you write books? Answers: well, I do it for the money. In the positive, it's, well, I don't do it for the money. In the positive, it's, I write my books because I love writing and sharing my thoughts on other people, with other people. Only the second response answers the question. Enough on that. I hope that you appreciate the effort that I have taken to write without negative words and to deliver direct positive truths. I have done a couple of YouTube videos on negative words and the power of words, and you will notice my struggle to speak in the positive. Here's the link to The Lie of Not. That was the end of chapter 1. I am different. In the book, I Am Out Here Too by Timeless Jubilee. Me, check out the next video when I read the second chapter. the bad and the ugly out here. Peace. Check out my ebook. It's for free. If you appreciate what I'm doing, hit the like button, subscribe, share this video. Peace, y'all. Have a great day. Love.